What's up, guys? This is going to be the Under Pressure Showdown, semifinal and final round. Keep in mind, these are going to be the same exact wind directions, just slightly different settings. So what you see here is what you get for the finals. And as you can see, tailwind here. Definitely worth a practice look on this first one. It's relatively easy to get this one to the green with the tailwind provided. So good opportunity to get off to a great start here. So you may want to take a couple practice attempts and just try to get this one dialed in. I'm going to just kind of go at it like this and just hope for the best. The goal is to get this as close to the green as possible, and with all the slope on this fairway, usually that as long as you get 2 or 3 bounces on the fairway, you should be good. And as a result, you can see, oh, look, this might actually wind up on the green too. So you actually throw away points when you get on the green. So ideally, you may want to miss the green. You can start off with a 22.99 if you're not putting for double eagle. I'm just going to kind of just go ahead and accept this. But do keep in mind, the advantage of the Pro DX on this hole. You want to take advantage of it. Ideally, it's kind of a logic flaw, but try to stay on the fringe, try to get on the, in the rough by the edge. You can get a 22.99 on that first hole. But we are off to a good start already. But do keep in mind, you will have higher tiebreaker points doing it that way. And this is also a good possibility. So, you may want to just kind of equip some things and just kind of want to see what it looks like with some of the best balls, some of the best pins, because similar type strategy here. We're just going to kind of go for the blasted approach. And when you use this blasted approach, it's a good opportunity to get a 9.99 on this one. So here you can see we are up by the green. Voodoo, maybe ideal to keep it in the fairway. However, keep in mind we should be close enough right here that all we need to do is hit our ultimate. And sure enough, it should be a no-win play. And as you can see, just easily goes in for a 9.99. So good opportunity for you to get that 9.99. That's an extra 100 points there just by using good pins and balls. So good opportunity there. We're just going to back off just a little bit here. We'll go Icarus. Take away a % here. There you can see right down the middle. Some guys may just choose to, hit it to a more strategic yardage. Let's see what this looks like for me. This looks pretty good for Bigfoot. So if you are a Bigfoot player, it looks like the blast approach gets you right into the top of the Bigfoot span. So here's 3 or 4 rings for for Max, sorry. Somewhere in the 3 to 4 from Max. 3 to 4 from Max. So we'll just do something like this. 4, 2, 7. And then keep in mind with the jitter, it's going to be the hardest thing is getting that right angle. And like we mentioned, we're going to go, what was that, 4, 2, 7. So it's all going to be about your pull angle, getting that wind small. If you guys remember from my qualifier, getting the wind as small as possible is your best bank to being able to get this hole out. So I'm just going to kind of guesstimate, but if you get that wind down below 3, it is going to up your accuracy. And as you can see, a little bit off on the pull angle. That's why it shoots out to the right. So you have to kind of guess what the angle is going to be with the jitter, and then keep in mind, you know, the smaller you get that wind, the more tolerance that you can avoid. It keeps you in there closer, potentially, you know, 1790s, 1780s, just simply by cutting that wind in half. You're going to be that much more closer in proximity. So that is a good tip for getting the ball as close as possible. We are going to go with the Icarus here. Let's try to blast this up as much as possible. So all this looks good so far. Oh, I'm surprised. I was trying to get this up to hive distance. That is no big deal. There's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 33. Maybe a couple more. About 35 for max or something. 35 for min, sorry. And again, the same thing, pull angle. So keep in mind that we're 35 for min, which is going to be, as you can see from a counting perspective, it's going to be about 14 for max. So both of those are equivalent, so it doesn't matter how you want to get there, just as long as you get there. And I am going to, it looks like it's going to zip back. I'm going to try to take off just a little bit. And this is saying 8 rings. And again, you know, pull angle is going to be your hardest, most difficult challenge. And it's saying 815. Let's just go somewhere right in here. Hopefully this angle is pretty good. A lot of opportunities to potentially hit the pin if you're just a little bit off. And it looks like my angle is off just slightly, so that's why you see it shooting out to the left. Also keep in mind that ball guide's going to collapse down. That's why you kind of see me keeping that ball guide through the hole significantly on my setup. So all of that is going to be extra tips to help you keep the ball close. And as you can see, you know, an 840, it's a decent tiebreaker, especially keep in mind that we're going to be carrying that over into the final round. And this is obviously a good opportunity to blast something down. I'm thinking like a driver wood pin, for example. And if you want to precision count, usually with driver wood pin, it does change your accuracy, so your ring play is going to change. So for a 5-0, maybe I go, you know, a little bit more than 5 rings. That was 5. Maybe 5.5 rings, somewhere like that. And of course, we're just going to do this with a precision pull instead of needing to go into overpower. So let's see if this is the right depth. That's even the 5.5 rings, as you can see, still just a little bit light. So maybe I need to dip into the 6, 6.25, somewhere in that ballpark. So that will help you guys get just a little bit more dialed in. But nevertheless, you can see there is another eagle, and we are going to be getting extra tiebreaker points for getting on that green. So that is the advantage to making sure that you get onto that green, is taking advantage of that, keeping your tiebreaker as high as possible. So maybe a good opportunity here, just to switch back to a 10%. This is about, what, 4 for max, give or take. So 4 for max. Of course, you guys saw the angle was roughly, at the time, something like this. 4 for max. 4.4. 4.2 on this one. Keep in mind, again, you know, pull angle is going to be your most difficult challenge. You're just trying to guess the best that you can. So, and I think this is the one that I aced in the qualifier. So if you do want to use that type of approach, It is a good opportunity for you to dial these in when you try to fine point tune it. So we're just going to go right in between 4-2 and 4-3 rings. And it looks like it's coming in very nicely, just coming in just a little bit hot. So when you see something coming in hot like that, it was probably the wrong pull angle. And that's why you're seeing it just come in just a little bit deep, because I did have that bounce, that second bounce, right around the pin, and then there you could see the bounce not collapsing from the headwind, and you could see it going through the pin. So we were off on the pull angle. You know, anytime you see that jitter range, it can be anywhere in there. So anytime that you keep that in mind, that's going to be ideal. Here you can see another slight little tailwind here. We're going to go heavy, try to give ourselves a good opportunity to get up as close as possible. I believe we got this in the qualifier. So this is the strategy more than anything, is just kind of blast it up there as best as you can. Make sure to avoid those trees. And again, that's kind of the strategy when you're blasting this up as far as possible, just giving you your best possibility at a 999. Of course, the eagle itself is going to help you get into the qualification zone as well, making sure that you don't get outplayed. But here you can see, you know, I'm just going to use this zoom out technique, which is just outside the circle, so it may just play fractionally. So anytime that it is going to just play fractionally, I may just take it a tick or two. So here you can see this is the right edge of cup. I may just cheat it in if I can, just a tad. This is just missing on the right edge. I'm going to try to make it just peeling in on the right edge, because this is all that we should need here when you're that close to the circle. And sure enough, there you can see it peels in on the left edge, so I could have just kept it right just outside the hole. But that is the advantage to getting up there as close as possible. You're trying to give yourself the best opportunity to make that 999. And again, we got a good score coming in here. We can switch this back. I'll just use this Crusader ball. This is very close to Bigfoot Max. Within a ring or so of Bigfoot Max, so keep that in mind. We're going to set that up like this. 444. And again, that pull angle going to be your most challenging obstacle, is pull angle. So getting this wind down as low as possible, using something like a wind pin, better balls. It's going to be your secret if you want to get it in as close as possible. What I'm going to do is just kind of conserve mine for the finals, to give ourselves that much better of a score in the final round. But of course, using the technique is both. You know, maybe on the back nine for you guys, I'll kind of show you guys the difference, and we'll see if we can't get a little bit more aggressive by trying to get the wind down. So on this side, I'll use these balls, which are just, you know, 80%. We won't worry too much about the wind pins or anything. Maybe on the back, I'll just get a little bit more aggressive. That way you guys can compare nines and see the difference between the two. Here you can see we're putting up a nice at least 15 under minimum. And again, two different strategies here. Some guys may opt to lay back. I'm just going to go ahead and blast mine, see how far I can get it down. Imagine we're going to be short iron again. I don't expect we're going to get to hive range. So I'm going to automatically just set up for that. So this is saying 4-5. Of course, wind straight in the face almost. And then we'll just try to figure out how close. Oh, it's closer than I expected. So we are going to maybe use 2 bars of right spin, try to straighten out this break. And this is what, 5 from min, 7 from min, something like that. 7 from min, give or take. Again, pull angle is going to be your biggest, most difficult challenge. So 7.5 rings here. Again, of course, you know, we have to guess what that pull angle is. So that's where keeping the wind as low as possible makes for the easiest way to do that. So do keep that in mind, and I will show that off on the back 9 for you guys, and you'll be able to see just how much more dialed we can get just by using a little bit better gear. Of course, this is a guess. That was a pretty good guess in that example. As you could see, we kept it in the 890s, which means that we were very close to whatever true angle is. So being close to true angle is the gist. It's the idea. Here is hole number 10. And I'm going to split these videos up. I will catch you guys on the back 9 momentarily.